Okay. There's gonna be a glare on my glasses no matter what I do, so I give up. At the beginning of this year, I started playing the mizmar. Which is a double reed instrument. My friend Bradley taught me that there is this cool word, embouchure, which refers to the way in which your lips form around the reed and create vibration, the feedback loop of hearing the sound that you're making and adjusting your muscles on the fly is such that the pitch is tweaked. In any case, it's an interesting thing. At the same time I picked up this instrument, I started playing Monster Hunter World, which is a game where you run around with friends in this fantasy-scape and you fight megafauna with different weapons. There is an instrument in the game called the hunting horn. I, at this exact same point in time, completely unrelated to the game, was learning how to play a horn of sorts. I naturally gravitated towards this horn weapon. The hunting horn in the Monster Hunter universe is a sort of giant wind instrument that you literally beat the crap out of things with. It's kind of like a bludgeoning weapon. And the idea is that as you swing it around, the wind flows through the tubes of the instrument and creates music. So as you're fighting things, like beating things with your instrument, you're also creating music that buffs your party as such that you're kind of a bard. This worked out really well because in actual life, I've kind of accepted that this person is a healing thing. Like I want to help people. That is primarily what I enjoy doing with my life. You play a bunch of notes, which are also attacks, and then if you play notes in a certain order, you actually create like a spell that buffs your group. And then you can do an encore of that performance, and it does additional damage to the monster. This was also the same point in time where I was developing a character for my comic, and I was trying to decide on their last name. And one of the names I was interested in choosing was Nasser, or Al Nasser. It is a word that is synonymous with the concept of helping. It literally translates into helper. Also residing in this headspace was Owanis, and I had just recently constructed my deity fish cape, and Owanis is very much a support class helper. Since I was going to be a helping horn at this point in my life where I was learning how to play the mismar, I decided to run around in this world and roleplay as that character of mine, which is fun. I have this affection for lamps and lanterns. One of the hunting horns you can construct coincidentally looks a lot like a Tiffany lamp. I get to wander around the wilderness with a oversized stained glass horn and smack things with it. Coincidentally, very quickly after I started compiling a loadout, as you go out on hunts, you get materials that you then use to construct better weapons so you can hunt stronger, more terrifying, larger monsters out in the wild. I was sifting through the list of different hunting horns that you could construct. On this list, I happened to notice there was a horn called the Tagrid Al Nasser, which is cool. The Al Nasser horn was built from parts of a bird-type monster, and Al Nasser is also a mythological figure or creature that is a bird, so that's probably what they were referencing by naming the weapon after that mythological bird creature. I was able to be my character with my Al Nasser hunting horn and be a healer while learning how to play the mismar. All of this coincidence created this little, like, knuckle, this, like, umami knuckle where everything just kind of resonated no pun intended. It seemed like no matter what I did at the beginning of the year, things were relating to each other in unexpected ways, which delighted me. So that's kind of where I've been. I think that when I notice little synchronicities like that, it's kind of like the embouchure of life. But again, this was back in the beginning of the year. Coming full circle, the new installment of Monster Hunter is coming out at the beginning of next year, and they had a demo that was available to play for a week last month, and my friend and I were able to create the new updated renditions of our characters in this new game. One of the notable things about old Monster Hunter games is that your hunting companion is your cat. They're referred to as palicos, which is a really cute name for a kitty companion. And anybody who has a pet cat would very reasonably go gaga over this feature, because you get to go out hunting and they either heal you or give you buffs or tank monsters for you. And you get to design yours to look however you like, and you can name them. I have never had a cat familiar in my life until this year, so this new Monster Hunter game will be the first installment where I'm actually designing my palico based on Sophie. So Sophia exists in her first video game virtual space. That excites me. In this demo, when you arrive at the first base camp for your tribe, all of the cat palico friends are running around trying to prepare. They're setting up like a blacksmith and a big cooking pit where you can go and eat before you go out on your hunts. I noticed there's a giant pile of pumpkins in the middle, which made me really happy. The thing that is so addicting about Monster Hunter games, why it appeals to me at all, because I'm not normally into violent games, and Monster Hunter is, like, by virtue of its nature, a very violent game, in the sense that you're hunting. So the alluring aspect is really the whole ritual of going out on a hunt and preparing for it beforehand. You have to eat a meal before you go out on a hunt. You can actually pick what food you cook and make, and it will show that specific food to you being prepared. And of course, the different ingredients buff you in different ways. I enjoy that mechanic. So once you get all of your hunting equipment set up, like your potions and your traps and bait and things like that, you run out into the wilderness in search of your prey. There are creatures, monsters, big megafauna wandering around in the wild, and you can choose to take on one of the big beasties solo or with people, and then you more or less carve it up after you defeat it and bring all the materials back to your camp. The ritual of preparing for a hunt and then riding through the weather with my hunting pack and providing my support to them while the creature is being fought feels really good. Like it scratches some itch, tickles some neurons in my brain. I got to swing a giant saxophone at a lightning beast with crystal rock things all over their body and try to break them off while playing music. The weapon's pretty cool. Like the actual feel, like the kinetic, physical feel of like smacking a giant dragon with a saxophone that you would never in a million years be able to wield, because something made out of metal that's that big would weigh like 1,000 billion pounds. I think that anyone who has ever been a musician in their life would appreciate this class. I don't know if the new game is going to have an El Nasser, like mizmar type horn for me to use, but in any case, I'm happy to have recreated my Owanis character in And another chapter that me and my friend get to live together next year. May you find the embouchure of life. May everything that you do feel like it's meant to be. Eat delicious food, be cozy and stay safe. Keep making awesome things out there, and thank you for watching.